You're listening to The Brand Compass, conversations to navigate your way to building a brand fit for purpose and poised for success. Here's your host, Shelley, Rostlund.
Hello and welcome, my friend. I have saved you a seat to join me today to the show where we dig into all the curious ways where your brand meets the humans that you serve. In this episode, I am going to broach a topic which I think might be one that niggles the back of your mind pretty much every day of the week. You and I both know that running a micro business is a challenge, right? And if it's only you in the business, the buck literally stops at you. Now, I don't know about you, but while I'm pretty good at many things, I'm not great at a lot of things. The challenge, I guess, is being strong or brave enough to work out which are the things that we are not particularly great at, be okay to admit it, then find the right people with the right skill set to help us. So in the work that I do, I get into the thick of this push and pull on what entrepreneurs think they are good at, want to be good at, but are frankly making big efficiency mistakes in their business because they are stubborn about being honest with themselves. So one of my favorite leadership sources I look to for some sanity is Michael Hyatt. Please do look him up. Him and his family run Focus. The business has just been renamed to Focus. Look him up if you haven't come across his work. He is great. And in fact, I have a gift that I normally give to clients and friends whenever I think they need a bit of a boost on help in this area. He has what I call a little productivity system in a box. And it starts with his book called Free to Focus, which comes with free handy tools to download and apply to yourself. The point, though, is that Michael has what he calls the Freedom Compass. And you know I like a good compass, right? It's basically a simple quadrant-based diagram with 4 quadrants, and they are the desire zone. There are 4 zones. I'm not going to say zone after each. So desire, distraction, disinterest, and drudgery. Now, if you're visualizing this, think of the x-axis, which runs along the bottom of the quadrant, and that is proficiency, and along the y-axis, which runs vertically on the side, is passion. So you've got passion versus proficiency on your x and y axis. I'll include this diagram in the show notes for you, just so you can see what I mean. Anyhow, what I found that works with Michael's compass is he shows you how to physically see the evidence of what you are currently spending your time on, which you shouldn't, and he ultimately gives you a big definitive red arrow to show you where you should be spending your time. So the idea, my friend, is not to make you feel bad about yourself. It's to give you a not so gentle prompt to wake you up to the fact that you need to be clear about what you are good at and what you are not. The end result being that your business will suffer if you do not take action to admit what's clearly in front of you. Now, this brings me to my 3 amigos. Anybody who knows me knows about my 3 amigos. So while that productivity and efficiency element I've just talked about can cover a wide range of activity and functions within your business, I want you to bring you back to my corner of the world, which is the branding and marketing part to your business. Now, here's a surprise. Right now, at this exact moment, you have 3 amigos that live inside your head. Now, you might be walking along listening to this podcast and you might be nodding your head and going, I'm with you, Shelley, but why stop at 3? And you wouldn't be wrong, right? However, I'm going to introduce you to the 3 main amigos that are tackling each other to get to the front of the queue to be heard every day. And they are brand, marketing, and sales. In fact, shall we give them names? Let's give them names. Let's humanize them, right? You can't have a story without human names, right? So let's have Brian as the brand amigo, Melinda for the marketing amigo, and how about 𝗧𝗛𝗜𝗜𝗦? I feel 𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 go. So from experience and in my day-to-day interactions with both clients and other fellow business owners, I feel like the lines between these three jobs do become very blurry. Okay, so let's bring it back in and hit the refresh button so that we can be clearer going forward now with these three amigos. Now, the reason I feel it's important to understand the differences between these three amigos is because it helps to do four things. One, focuses your mind on what the objective is of the activity in front of you. Highlights the type of skills that are needed for this activity. It sets the expectations for how to go about doing the activity, and also directs the type and tone of action needed, right? Those four areas, key important areas. So basically, when you put one of your amigo hats on in order to be that amigo, you understand what's expected of you and what exactly the job is that you need to get done. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to go and drill down a bit on each one of the amigos, just that you and I are really clear about who they are, what their job is, in the context of your world of running your business. Amigo number one is Brand, or Brian, the brand amigo. Now, Brian's main job is to position your value and offer in a way that gives you purpose and direction for everything else that you do. Brand is the business end to your marketing strategy. Ideally, you will have taken some time out to actually put a brand strategy together, which basically houses all the critical decisions, choices, and principles which define how you and your business will approach the outside world and what your purpose is in the context of your ideal customer's world and your marketplace. Okay, got it? All right, so amigo number two is marketing, or Melinda, the marketing amigo. Now, Melinda's job is to create ways to express your brand in the right way to the right people at the right time. Now, marketing is huge, right? But it's a real compilation of a myriad of three different types of actions. So I hope this will simplify it a little bit for you. So number one, creating a store of assets, which include marketing, copy, and visual collateral that accurately reflects the brand strategy. Identifying the right places for you to be seen and heard, so you're focusing your attention in the right place and you're talking to the right people. Designing different activities. This is the third types of actions, designing different activities and campaigns which fully demonstrate and translate your uniqueness in terms which your ideal customers can get who you are and if you are for them. Okay, that was a lot, right? Marketing is a big job. Now, the third amigo hat is one that many micro businesses struggle with, especially if they don't have a natural skill for it. And that is amigo number three, which is sales. And that's Stuart, the sales amigo. So Stuart's main job is to create and carry out persuasive ways in which to convert your prospective client along the buying journey towards becoming a paying client. So Stuart's skills tend to require the ability to confidently sell the benefits of your offer, empathetically listen to the prospect and then adjust how he persuades that conversation towards commitment, overcome objections in a compassionate and customer-centric fashion, negotiate his way through a discussion, and also spot opportunities for seeking commitment to move the prospect on the sales progression journey. Also a big job. So my question to you for some honest reflection is, do you find that sometimes you are blurring between these three amigos? I think that when you're doing the work, job or task that you're doing as a micro business, it might feel like they are all one thing. I'd like you to try something. When you are about to do something which you know touches on brand, marketing, or sales, I want you to take a pause and check in on your mindset. Who do you need to be in order to do this task, go to this meeting, hold this discovery call, deliver that free introductory conversation, or even to negotiate that proposal? Which one of these Amigo hats are you putting on? This will give you the best chance of achieving the objective for that task, meeting, call, conversation, or negotiation. I am aware that there is an elephant in the room. Is there not? Do you feel it? Let's see if your elephant is the same as mine. It goes something like this. Is it that potentially you have a slight challenge in there that you might only have one of these three amigos, and you're kind of forced to do all three and you're not great at it? Or do you fear that actually you don't have any of these amigos and actually your head and heart just feels like a big hot mess when you're confronted with needing to do any one of those things? That can happen. So let me just put you at ease. It's rare that you would be good at all three of those things, let alone one or two. All right. This is why I'm a big advocate of building what I call a brand machine. I know the realities of being a micro business and the limits that brings for resources and access to a myriad of skills you need to not only build and grow your business, but also just in generating fresh interest in your business. Everything takes time. For subject matter experts or knowledge workers, the sales cycle is even longer because you have to build that know, like, and trust factor over a period of time before gaining that signature on the proverbial dotted line. A brand machine just helps you to create a smart network of planned activities that works 24/7 to support you when you're busy. It can generate and convert interest and even move prospects through conversion points along their journey to actually working with you for real. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking a cold metal machine-like contraption here. You still think things through, make decisions, personalize your approach and tone, but you're actually making use of an architecture that sits all around you, and it helps to support you so that those three Amigo roles are actually being fulfilled, but they're being fulfilled in the right ways at the right time. Thank you so much for sticking with me through that. That was a chunky one. Did you find that clarity, though, between brand, marketing, and sales is helpful for you? Will you take a pause next time to think which hat you're going to put on to tackle what's in front of you? I'd love to know whether it made a difference for you. I have a confession to make. I am an efficiency junkie. I absolutely loathe wasting time, energy, or money. And it might be because I grew up in South Africa, where natural resources were always stretched and we had to learn to make the best with what we had and also to look after what we already had. It's really spilled into my parenting as well as my approach to business, but yikes, now we're oversharing now, right? But thank you so much for choosing to listen to this episode today. Who do you know that gets overwhelmed or blurry when it comes to marketing or selling themselves? Maybe this kind of clarity we've talked about in this episode will help them. Go on, share the episode, be a good friend. You know you want to. All right, until next time, stay strong. Believe you have value and make good brand decisions.
Thank you for listening to The Brand Compass. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with your entrepreneurial friends and help them make good brand decisions. Until next time, let's keep the conversation going at 𝗘𝗣𝗜𝗦𝗢𝗘𝗟𝗟.